What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Love and Hip Hop Season 9, Episode 5. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 5. So look, let's talk about it. This is what we're going to call the social issues, the social justice episode, because, honey, we got into so many different things going on in this episode. Oh, my gosh. So we start off with Rashida and Kirk. They are having date night. She said, with everything we have going on, life has been so crazy. Kirk has decided that he's going to take some time aside so that we can spend some time together. And so he takes her onto the rooftop, and he's got the flowers, and it was really nice, and the champagne and and waffles, honey. And she said, okay, all of this is real nice and everything, but what's up with the waffles? He said, you don't remember our first date? We was at the Waffle House. She was like, oh, yeah, I was low maintenance then. Yeah, Miss Rashida, because, you know, can't do the waffles with you. Can't do the Waffle House now, honey. But then they went on to just talk about, you know, how much in love they are and how they went through so much. And, oh, I love you too. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, yeah, 20 years, 20 more years. Da, 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 da. But then Rashida says, this is the perfect time for me to take a little trip away. I got a lot going on. So it'll be the perfect time for me to take a trip with my girls. And so she decided that she's gonna take the ladies on to a ski trip, right? So okay, cool. Then we see Miss Sierra going out to dinner. It's Shooter's birthday, it's the kids and the Sierra going out to dinner. She walks in there with a gift for Shooter. And I thought it was gonna be like a gag gift, right? I mean, you know, a pile of shit, a bag of razor blades. Like, I don't know. But I didn't really expect it to be like a real gift. And she said, I was real mad at Shooter when he wouldn't testify. But since my lawyer got that videotape and cleared everything up, I mean, I'm not mad anymore. Bitch. See, to me, it's not about the fact that it worked out. It's about the fact that he was going to leave you hanging. What if the videotape never showed up? What if Carly never came through? And the only person you had left to rely on was him. And he told you he wasn't going to get involved in it. And it was going to be your word against the other chick's word. And your ass ended up going to jail. Like, I don't understand how fast you decided you was going to forgive him. I still would hate him. I wouldn't forgive him. I don't know if I'd ever forgive him for that. Because it was... Not only was it that I'm not going to testify, you went out of your way to show up up to the courthouse to remind me you wasn't going to testify. I don't know about that one, Sierra. Whatever, child. Whatever. So then Sierra was saying how she been having some issues with the kids, that they've been acting a little funky, got nasty attitudes. And, you know, she said the daughter been acting kind of funky. And, you know, Shooter's like, what's going on? What's the problem? And she was like, I don't know, the people at school getting on my nerves. And he was like, what you mean they getting on your nerves? What's the problem? I mean, they just, you know, so much drama. He told him, he was like, well, you got to stay the fuck out of it. Like, if it's drama going on, like, stay out the drama. So then Sierra starts talking. It was an awkward conversation where she starts talking about them all getting along and how the kids act better when the two of them are getting along. And when they together doing family stuff, the kids act fine. But then when it's Sierra, you still like Shooter, don't you? You still love that man, don't you? Because this whole situation was crazy to me. First of all, the fact that you're going to forgive him after the way he was going to leave you hanging, number one. And number two, now you're talking about some of the kids act right when we together, but... Child. And Shooter said in his confessional, he said, look, I got enough drama in my life. I don't need to add nothing else to it. Sierra over there giving me the wink wink and giving me the doe eye. And I can't do it because I got too much going on. No ma'am, no Pam. Okay. We see Jock show up to Shalon at Shalon. Where I guess they done got the place fixed up since the little fire last season. And Jock said he don't even really hang up there no more, that it's just one of his many businesses, that he's not really hands-on after everything that went down last year with old girl trying to mess up his relationship. But he had to meet up with somebody who lived in the neighborhood, and he figured that'd be a nice place to meet. Even under the best of circumstances, is the salon the best place to have a private meeting? Unless you were going to take her in the back into the little office area. Like, they sat under the dryers and had this meeting about human trafficking. I think Jock just wanted to remind us he had a salon child in Atlanta. Anyway, neither here nor there. He's talking to Sierra about human trafficking. Sierra had gone public on her social media, said that, not Sierra, Alexis. Did I say Sierra? Yeah, I'm sorry. Alexis Scott. She had gone public about the fact that she had been a victim of human trafficking, sex trafficking, and he was saying he really wanted to, have a panel about it because, him having 5 daughters, it just scares him, and he really wanted to bring awareness to it, and he wanted to know if she would publicly speak on it. And she was like, I don't know, because, it's one thing for me to, this is what she gonna say. It's one thing for me to make a social media post, but I don't know about talking to a room full of people. You told like 500,000 people. And I guess what she was saying is like in a one-on-one intimate setting versus just putting a post on Instagram. I mean, I get that, but I was just like, so she was like, she would think about it. She wasn't sure if she'd be able to come through, but she does. Of course, she ends up coming. And they have the panel on the human trafficking. And what? Let me say this. Okay, so let me be serious for a minute, because I'm not going to insert my personal opinion on Alexis's personal story. I'm just going to leave that where it is. But I will say this: when I worked at the jail, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know that I worked at the juvenile detention center for a couple of years, and we had to actually go to a workshop on human trafficking. On it was different policies on if a person, generally it would be a girl, but it didn't have to be a girl, it could have been a boy too. But if somebody opened up to us and told us that they were there's a different way that they're handled, even if they were arrested and they were there on a criminal charge, there's a different way that they are processed and handled if they are a victim of human trafficking, because a lot of times the charge that they're there for is probably related to the fact that they were being trafficked, and that is a different, anyway, it's a different thing. So we had to go to a workshop, and the one thing that I found very interesting, which is what they brought up at this panel, was people have their idea of what human trafficking looks like. And what you don't understand is that it could very simply be like they said on here. It could be your neighbor. It could be somebody that you deal with all the time that is being trafficked, and you don't know it, because it's not always somebody being kidnapped, taken away, and it's not what it is in the movies that they're working at a brothel, and it's not always that. And so the women up there were telling their story, and the one woman who said, I was trafficked and then I became the trafficker, because a lot of times we see it happen a lot with molestation. You were molested and then you become someone who then you inflict that pain on somebody else, because people live what they learn. And so and hurt people, and so it's a situation where it was a much needed conversation. I implore you guys to, hey, most of y'all ain't got nothing but time. I implore you to figure it out and do the research, especially parents that have young children, especially little girls. One of the things that was very deep on here, they talked about they found a lot of their victims in church. The workshop that I went to was saying that they found a lot of their victims at the mall. That they would find little girls who looked sad. One little girl told the story in that she'd had a fight with her friends. She went to the mall. She was by herself, but she was sad and in a bad mood because she'd had a fight with her friends. Boy approached her, of course, said all the right things, flirted with her, whatever. 3-4 months later, boom, and then she's gone. And there's a mall here in the area where I live that's connected to a hotel. And the workshop that I went to, they said that mall is very popular with traffickers because the mall is connected to the hotel, and they get them from the mall, they get them into the hotel, and bada. And so definitely implore you guys not to scare anybody, but understand that it doesn't look any particular way, and to make sure that you guys are being diligent. Anyway, so that's very deep, very important. Akbar was there, and she talked about how it really moved her. It's serious. It's serious. So that's our social issue number 1, child. Then we got to talking about Rashida had everybody meet them down to the ski shop because they're going skiing, honey. And it's Bam, Rashida, Mimi, Sierra. I think that might be it right then. And then they found out that that Carly is invited. So Sierra was just like, okay, whatever. And Spice is coming. So then we get to the situation, which I'm sure you guys know went down with Sierra and her daughter at the school. That Sierra's daughter got into an altercation at the school, and the girl's mother, the girl actually snuck her mother on campus, and they actually end up jumping Sierra's daughter. Sierra said that she was on the phone with her daughter. Her daughter was calling her saying, "Mom, they about to get on me." And she said she asked, to speak to the mother because she said the mother lives in my building, like I know her, and was hoping that they would be able to come, reason about something. And she said next thing she knew, phone dropped, she heard screaming, and I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine what she was thinking, feeling, and hearing that was going on. Now, what I can appreciate Sierra is that Sierra did not try to pretend like her daughter was innocent. She was like, I know my daughter is not innocent. She said, but there's no excuse for, a parent to, jump on a child. And what is the school doing? How does she get on campus and all of that? And so, I definitely understand it. And thank God Sierra said, she filed a restraining order against them. And thank God she has the means, the money, for her to be able to hire a lawyer, I'm sure, and, get some things done. And I definitely understand where she's coming from because it does make a difference. Unfortunately, I've seen it happen. I mean, I've seen it happen where people where parents come up to the school with ill intentions and get into situations with children, which I will never understand the mentality of a grown ass adult thinking it's okay to put your hand on somebody else's child in that manner, like out of anger in that manner. I will never understand a grown ass woman or man coming up to the school to beat up a child. I don't care what nobody say. Don't put no shit in my comments about it because there's no justification for it. If there's somebody at the school that's bothering your child, then you go to the school and you handle it as an adult through the school. If it's two children fighting, or there's a situation, and you go to the school and you handle it through the school, you call that person's parent and y'all handle it as parents. But there's no excuse for no grown ass person to go up to somebody's child's school and put your hands on that child in that manner, to fight them, to beat them up, to jump them. No excuse. And I don't give a damn. And again, don't put no comments. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want you to justify it. I don't want you to explain it. I don't want to hear nothing. Sierra said her daughter wasn't innocent and that her daughter was going back and forth with that girl. But like she said, they were children and they were talking to each other and handling each other as children. All right. So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, what I do know is that Sierra ended up putting her daughter in a private school. She did end up doing that, but she shouldn't have had to. But anyway, child, that's a mess. It's a lot. So we see Bam getting packed up to go on the trip, honey. Bam started talking about how she's not feeling good and it'll be great to get a change. And we know Bam is pregnant. Matter of fact, they just had the gender reveal on Instagram. They having a little girl. What I did appreciate in this scene, though, was that Scrappy was excited to be spending time with his son. He was like, go ahead. Me and Bree gonna be good. We gonna have some daddy-son time, and we good to go. Like, don't you worry about us. We are good. I think so many times we see or they show where the fathers either don't want to keep the kids or can't keep the kids or ill-equipped to keep the kids. And he was like, by God, we good. You go have a good time with the girls. Me and my son, we are all right. I could appreciate that. Then we get to social issue number 3, honey. We have Kirk and Rashida. Kirk's oldest son was arrested on drug charges. Come to find out, he had a criminal record. They said that the way the police officer wrote up his paperwork made it seem like he was like, Tony Montana. They said that he had a bag of weed, and he did. Now, they never addressed the fact about him having a weapon, but I'm assuming he did actually have a weapon. But they said that the way that the police officer wrote it up was like intent to distribute, that he had a sawed-off shotgun and he had a silencer. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself on what I'm thinking. But they were talking about how it's messed up that police officers can write the paperwork up however they want, and they can make a situation, from bad to worse, and da 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 da, boo boo boo, yada yada yada, and just how the situation really ain't looking too good right now, and that they're trying to figure something out to hopefully get because right now he's in jail. I don't even know if he at that point. I don't even know if they got the bail for him yet, because he was trying to figure out why he didn't have any bail, and they were explaining why he ain't had no bail because the police officer made him seem like he was about to go, that he was, supplying the whole East Coast with his bag of weed, honey. So Kirk told Rashida, like, look, with everything we have going on right now, that ski trip, I can't. Like, we got the situation with, we got too much going on, and I just really can't afford for you to be gone. We got to handle this, and I need you here with me. So Rashida is not going on a ski trip. So the rest of the ladies, now mind you, it was Rashida's ski trip, but we know it was really VH1 ski trip, but it was supposed to be Rashida's ski trip, but we know it really wasn't. So the ladies are still going on the ski trip. Now, Carly did reach out to Sierra. She said, I can't imagine if something like that happened, I don't hate her. And when I said karma was coming for her, that is not who I was talking about. You was talking about Kiyomi. But anyway, that's not the karma I was talking about. She was like, so at the end of the day, we cool, but we ain't friends again because I still don't trust her. So, on the way up there, Bambi again is talking about how she not feeling good or whatever. And they were like, baby, are you pregnant? Bambi told my son, I can't be pregnant. I'm breastfeeding. She was like, you can't get pregnant while you're breastfeeding, right? Who told you that, Bambi? And why are you, a grown-ass woman, still believe it? Are you serious right now? You really thought you couldn't get pregnant while you were breastfeeding? Mimi said, the only surefire way to not get pregnant is to not be getting no dick. Exactly. So she said, dang, I thought I was safe. No, boo-boo, you're not safe. So the other thing was we found out that Shakana is going to meet them up there. I guess Shakana is going to take Rashida's place, and she's going to meet them up there. And come to find out, Spice talking about something. Oh no, I don't rock with her no more. Like, me and Shakana, we ain't cool no more. She said she fake, and y'all already know Spice don't deal with no fake and phony. Spice don't deal with the fake or the phony. So she was like, she fake, and I ain't dealing with that. So no, And so they were like, well, dang, maybe we can, maybe we can come to some resolution. Maybe we can fix that too, honey, while we up there. We got Carly and Sierra. We trying to get them together. Now we got to get y'all straight. Okay. Spice was like, Spice was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But whatever. Last but not least, honey, we got Scrap. We have Cheyenne, and we have Miss Karen. Now, Scrap is moving because he need a bigger place because he's got custody of his sons, and he said he has his nephews a lot. Because I think, didn't his brother get in trouble? Didn't the other brother, didn't he end up going back to jail or something? Anyway, so he's getting a new place, and he got Cheyenne packing up for him. And let me say this. And I was going to mention this last week, but Funky Dineva mentioned it in his review about how Miss Cheyenne done became real love and hip hop. Because you remember last season, she was looking real sweet and innocent and all of that. And like this, she is real video vixen this season, right? Isn't me? Okay. So come to find out that KK and Cheyenne are beefing over a cell phone bill. Now hold on. VH1, I need y'all to make some shit make sense. Okay. Do you know the last time I know anybody that has fought over a damn cell phone bill? Like, that is like I'm in my 1920s and I don't have no credit yet, and I need somebody to sign for like, remember back in the day with cell phones and they were real expensive and stuff, and like you really needed to have some good credit to get a cell phone. Y'all remember that shit? Now you can walk into any damn 7-Eleven and get a cell phone if it's just that serious. Now, on one hand, y'all want us to believe that Cheyenne is this big time, real estate, and she got it going on, and she been helping out Scrap, and she had all of this to give to Scrap when he got out of jail and all of that. But she got to be on KK's cell phone bill? Why are you on KK's plan? You ain't friend or family. Why are you on her cell phone plan? Explain to ReallyHHA, Mona. Make that make sense. There is no reason in the world that you're going to be able to convince me that it makes sense to NT by T for me to think that Cheyenne is supposed to be on KK's cell phone bill. Period. So supposedly they beefing because Cheyenne didn't give KK the money for the bill. Now, KK said the only reason why you ain't give me the money for the bills because you mad at me because I cussed you out. But the only reason why I cussed you out is because you was disrespectful to me. So Scrap was like, well, can y'all just apologize and move on? I ain't apologizing to her until she apologized to me. Well, I ain't apologizing to her because I don't feel like I did anything wrong. So then here go KK. Did you tell him about Shooter? Here goes Scrap. What about Shooter? What don't I know? Shooter? Yeah, your sister been dating Shooter. Baby. And that's where it ended. So I'm sure that's what we're going to pick up next week, honey. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments.